I changed my mind on a belief I used to have a while ago, but I don't think I've ever discussed my new take on it in this series. I might not have ever even discussed my old take on it, but it's about Xbox Game Pass. This is going to sound like I'm shilling, and I wish I was, because now that I pay rent and whatnot, I could use some endorsement cash. But Game Pass on PC specifically, for people who don't have Xboxes, is probably the best deal in gaming, period. $10 a month for a library of past juggernauts and a smattering of decent launch titles pays for itself over and over again if you're someone who plays a lot of games and a lot of different kinds of games. Lately, this has been happening at least once a month, but a game will come out that I want to try but don't want to pay full price or $40 for, but it's on Game Pass, so I can play it for free and have my questions answered. Whether it turned out to be mediocre, overhyped, or whether it's really good, playing it for free allowed me to take a chance on it and either find a financial loophole around a game that doesn't deserve to be the price that it was, or solidify my decision to purchase said game on Steam or something so I could own it forever if it was super quality. The first thing I mentioned alone justifies owning Game Pass. This seems to happen all the time now. A game will come out, be way too expensive, or not have enough content to be worth buying, and you can just play it free on Game Pass and save $50 in one fell swoop. High on Life was the last game to really exemplify this. Remember that Rick and Morty-esque bounty hunter thing? A 7-hour single-player game of arguably dubious quality that had a launch price of $60, but also launched free on Game Pass. So like, if you wanted to try it and you didn't have Game Pass, just get Game Pass for a month. Boom, $60 game gets completed in half a day for $10 instead. That's a game you don't need to own. Nobody's gonna replay High on Life a year from now unless they're writing fan letters to Justin Roiland in prison. I like the gameplay, which is what drew me to wanting to try it, but good God, the comedic belligerence on display in the dialogue. They'd take a joke, run it into the ground, and dig straight through to China every time, and you're just sitting there like, holy shit, dude, knowing you improvised half of that doesn't make me enjoy it more. But even if you like that game, you don't need to own it. Some games are owners and some are renters. If you can 100% something in like a day and there's no replay value, I hope you rented it, which is essentially what you're doing with Game Pass unless you buy the games on Game Pass. But in that case, I just buy them on Steam because I'm loyal to the platform, because I like having all my games there and making my profile more impressive with achievements and stuff. Game Pass is perfect for bite-sized releases, games you're not going to spend weeks or months invested in, games you're curious about but not financially confident in, games that have fun multiplayer for when your friends don't all want to buy something, games you missed the boat on back in the day but could be as engrossing as ever, and I guess part of why I think more people should check it out is because I think its days are numbered. This is a deal that is blatantly too good to last. It's either going to get price gouged or it's going to get less games. Last year, the head of Xbox said Game Pass is profitable and that it makes up 15 to 20% of their revenue, but it's hard to imagine that even being true to begin with because it's incredibly good for consumers, and what's incredibly good for consumers is almost never good for businesses. If this shit really is profitable, then it must be protected, and if it's not profitable, then we'd better enjoy it while it lasts. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of Game Pass lately. They just added the entire goddamn Hitman collection in one package. Hitman 1, 2, and 3, plus all of the DLC, plus the new World of Assassination mode. That's all free on Game Pass as one thing. Absolutely bonkers that something like that can be free. Those games kept me busy for months. I already had them on PS5, but I was missing some DLC, so this is a good way to play some of those maps. Persona 5 Royal is a huge get for Game Pass. I only played the standard Persona 5, so if I ever want to dive back in, that's there for me. And then Atomic Heart, released just a couple days ago, is another prime example of get Game Pass for a month so you can try this, because otherwise it's $60. Wolong Fallen Dynasty, the new Souls-like from the people who made Nioh, is coming to Game Pass in March. That's a big money saver. They're getting Redfall, that co-op vampire shooter, in May that I think will be fun. They're getting Hollow Knight Silksong if that game ever gets fucking released, though I already know I'm buying that on Steam anyway, because that's a certified keeper. Plus a slew of other things yet to be announced. And they add banger older titles consistently too. They've got the best 2D games of all time, the Ori franchise, my favorite visual novels ever, the Danganronpa series, although only 2 and 3 are free now for some reason. They've got classic forever time sinks like Skyrim and Minecraft, beloved full franchises like Dead Space, Dishonored, Doom, Fallout, Halo, Mass Effect, etc., and tons of must-play indies like Monster Sanctuary, Darkest Dungeon, Hollow Knight, Amori, Undertale, Slay the Spire, Death's Door. Which leads me to the other majorly good thing about Game Pass. It's a perfect vehicle for recommending games to your friends or whoever. Any terrific thing they might have missed, something you really want them to play, well, now it's no hassle at all. Introduce them to the first month of Game Pass for literally $1 and see if they don't get hooked on the library. It's a treasure trove of missed boats and forgotten bangers. It's quite literally a steal. I know somebody is going to come along and play that Hitman collection, get obsessed with it, and get what used to be a couple $100 of an experience all told for like 20 after 2 months. I will probably never cancel my Game Pass subscription unless some radically negative changes are made. Every full-priced game that also comes out on Game Pass justifies the next 6 months of my subscription, and that's been overlapping quite a bit lately, so even if they deleted their entire library, I could stay subscribed for another 2 years and not be in the red financially. Pretty cool, man. You know, for all the flexing associated with having a super high-end PC, and all the hype about it being the best possible gaming experience, it sure doesn't get to reach those heights when every game's PC version turns out shit. What's going on lately? There is a real justifiable fear that any given game's PC version will just run like garbage, or be glitched to hell, or be flat-out unplayable at launch. The Callisto Protocol, Forspoken, Hogwarts Legacy, Wild Hearts, game after game with a multi-platform launch, and only the PC version is trash, or the PC version is noticeably worse. How does this keep happening? Even the PC Master Race people will think about buying something on PS5 instead if there's seemingly a greater chance for the game to work properly at the cost of their uncapped frame rates or whatever, and as someone who bought their first high-end PC only recently, I'm one of them. I got Hogwarts Legacy on PS5. Partially because the 3-day early access started earlier for console players, but also because me and people I talked to were genuinely worried it wouldn't run great on PC, and we were correct. Patches have since been implemented, I'm told, as they always are, but nobody wants their game to start working a week or two after they buy it. That's dumb. The PC has become a liability, as people pray they won't be the only ones shafted at launch. I imagine part of the issue is that they have to make the game playable while accounting for all these dozens of different parts and processors and graphics cards and setups and whatnot, whereas every PS5 console is the same, so maybe there's less optimization to be had. But it seems like the problems are getting worse, not better, and how does that make sense when we're only getting more accustomed to the variances of this technology? Does every new graphics card that comes out just completely blow programmers' minds, or what? Does every new advancement in processing power just make every game studio go, well, guess we have to start over? A PC isn't a damn ocean. Surely we've charted all the current depths of these machines enough to not be completely unprepared to make the game work on them. If a game is looming that seems like it would be greatly enhanced by the power of a high-end PC, I no longer have the confidence to pull the trigger, which nullifies the whole point of the fucking system. But nobody can blame me because developers are now constantly screwing up in this regard. My confidence is shaken because they keep putting it in the blender and setting it to high. It's an actual disgrace. You'd think developers would have a little more loyalty to PC versions given that they literally make the games on their PCs. Your PC made the damn game, and it can't even run it? That's like if I invented hopscotch and both my legs were broken. How did I even playtest this shit? Was I crawling around in the boxes like, yeah, this seems like the experience I had in mind, ship it. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. Watch all my other videos on your PS5 if you think they'll have problems on PC, and I'll see you guys next time.